Let's look at a very interesting stock. So first off, read this disclaimer carefully and do your good deed of the day by liking and subscribing. So we go to a megatrend that I have called biohacking. So it's one of the best performing megatrends, 518% average from the 52-week low. And we are still, far away from the 52-week highs. So huge moves. So the key thing here, about biohacking is that these are chemicals and supplements, basically stuff you take to boost or modify your performance. So basically, yeah, it's biohacking. So you got nutritional supplements, some companies are more diversified, and you got, a bunch of different things. We will look at Natural Alternatives International. They are in the nutritional supplements business, 143% here from the low, minus 20% pullback. So here is the company's website. Your products retain quality. Okay, so let's look a bit here at their brands. So yeah, so there's carcinosin brands, feature to clinically studied patented ingredients available exclusively from their company. Powering sports nutrition, supporting everyday wellness and healthy aging. So this is one of those big trends, and this stock it's seen a lot of big moves. So it's been extremely tradable. So look here, as an example, you all of a sudden get 52% gain. Then you get a pullback of minus 60%. Then you form a low here as an example, and then you have a whopping almost 300% move. So this is very, very, very tradable, and this has been within an overall global bull market. This has been all over the place. So you could easily have this as a part of your portfolio where you can be long, you can be short, depending on what's going on, and you basically have a market neutral portfolio. Okay. So you do have these time cycles, major time cycles, and there's a tendency for there to be 1, 2, 3 small time cycles within. Zooming in, we are still part of this major time cycle. In this time cycle here, we peak early. Here we peak relatively early, though we do have a bit of a double peak, but this peak is way higher than this. It could be that the major time cycle has peaked. But we do have these smaller time cycles, and there is this suggestion here of a small rising phase. And if you look at some of the prior, rising, smaller phases, easily like 40%. So yeah, you can quickly get, a sizable move. The PPO is at an elevated level. We have been higher in the past. RSI has cooled down a bit. So let's zoom in. Like that. So the interesting thing here is that we have pulled back to a very key support level. So this is the purple 20-week moving average. It's been irrelevant in the past, which increases the probability that it will be relevant also going forward as a support level. You could further argue that we might be in the process of forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern with the 20-week moving average potentially helping to form that right shoulder. Jumping into the daily data points, then we do have another key moving average, and that is the blue 100-day moving average, which is now support. It was, however, resistance not that far back. So it is definitively very important for the bulls to rally soon. We do not want to lose that moving average. So that would be my stop, my sort of get out level. And that's basically because the moves, they can become, sizable. Because as an example, if you were to put your stop like here, then you are at, 4%. And, you don't want to be too generous on your stops either. So yeah. When we look here at the seasonality, we do see over the last 5 years, September has been weak. October, November, December have been stronger. Last 10 years, then all of a sudden September is a strong month. Well, relatively strong. Over the last, let's go for the last 20 years, you do see that, September, October, they tend to post gains. Only close aside 47% of the time. So there's a bit of some mixed messages here between different time frames. There is, however, something interesting specifically about September suggesting strength, which would help potentially form that inverse head and shoulders pattern. Here on Finviz, we have diagonal trend lines. This one, the blue one, that would help form an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So there is this, the stars are aligning themselves for a more bullish thesis. Sachs do not have much in terms of ratings for this stock. It is a small company, so only 102 million in market cap, no dividend, beta 0.8. They call it, medical drugs, which is interesting. I categorize this a bit more as, nutritional supplements. So yeah, it's a bit of a generous category. Yeah. So that's interesting. Maybe there's something unique about them in this in that space. Being more closer to like hard science. So if I were to sum up my take here for this company, the theme is definitively very interesting. Biohacking is a huge thing. I am certainly way more skeptical when it comes to like psychedelics. I think psychedelics has that's something you really need to be careful with, because that's an intoxicant that can change how you perceive the world. And if you have a person behind, in a car, obviously that could become very dangerous. And when it comes to nutritional supplements, that is, a different ballgame altogether. This company is very interesting. I think that the stars are aligning themselves here for a bullish thesis. So yeah, we have a clear line in the sand, and yeah. I think there's more reasons to be bullish than bearish. Though we always, of course, want to have a very clean and clear stop level to use technical analysis as a risk management tool.